Hi everyone, good to see you today. So good to see you all. Today we're having a conversation on how to gain confidence to become more visible and impact more people. And I'm joined today by our special guest and also VIP speaker from the Women Thrive Summit, Biba Pedron. Hi Biba, how are you today?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? And how is everybody?
Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Normandy in France and it's really cold. I just come back from Miami and here it's really cold.
Oh, and of course the cities behind you just
Yeah.
indicates what a traveler you are. And we were just actually speaking behind the scenes that you travel the world and you do your impact work. So for any of you who have not met Biba, I'm excited to introduce her to you and have our powerful conversation today. So Biba is business and mindset expert who served as a sales and marketing manager for over 15 years and quickly established herself as a subject matter and expert and started her own business. Now she authored multiple bestseller books in French and English, and of course we'll talk a little bit more about that today. And she's received many accolades, named as Excellence in Business Coaching, Entrepreneur of the Year, and featured in the Forbes magazine and as a woman of influence. So, we have a treat for you all today. If you're joining us live or watching this on replay, I would love for you to leave a comment below. Let us know where in the world you're watching. And if you may have some questions around being visible today, I can't wait for this conversation. Biba, welcome.
Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me. And I'm so happy that I will be with you again live on for the summit on the 20th.
Amazing. I can't wait. You are one of our opening speakers for that particular day. Well,
That's an
it's
honor. That's a big honor. Thank you.
Thursday. I thought, this Women Thrive Summit is really all about empowering and empowerment for of women. And you have been such a strong voice internationally. You do work globally, you've written multiple books, and your topic, which we'll talk a little bit more about, is truly powerful. But today we're talking about gaining confidence and visibility for women in business, entrepreneurship, and to make more impact. Why is this an important topic?
It's very important because I live in the US for 20 years now, and but I also work with French women speaking. And
Mhm.
each time I switch from the US to coming back to France, I notice that there's a big gap. And I always wonder why the women in the US market are able to be more visible. And I don't say it's for everybody, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of more women. We have a lot of more role model in the US than in the French US market. And I was wondering why there's a gap. And at some point I said, I want all the women to be independent. That's my mission, for the woman to be independent. So but for me, it's more important to be independent than to be financially independent, because you become independent. And my motto is, I do what I want, where I want, who I want, with who I want, making sure that money is not an issue. But the first part is to do what I want. So when you become independent, then you will come in financially independent. And I think that, first of all, we notice that everywhere in the world, there's more and more women who create businesses, who create the economy, who do something. But there's not enough women who have a voice. And when enough women will take their voice, I think we could switch different things. And that's the reason why it's very important for me. And that's why I created a club 2 years ago in the French market called
Yeah.
Impacté au Féminin, where I really show them that they have to be proud of their business. They have to be proud to be successful. They have to show that they're successful, because then they can become a role model for other women. I do submit since 2011. I first did it in English, and then in 2014, I started in French.
Mhm.
It took me 2 years. The one in English, I prepare them in 3 months, like usually we do for a submit. The French one, it was the very first
Cool.
summit introduced by women to women, because there were summit for women, but the experts were all men. It took me 2 years to find 10 women to agree to do the summit, because they were scared. They didn't want to be visible. They had success, but they didn't want to show it, because we never know what people can say.
Yeah.
And I at my level, I want to change that. And luckily, with social media, things are changing, but very slowly, I think.
Mm.
So more people put the photo, more people use video. But I still meet a lot of women who hide behind the logo. Or you go on their Facebook page or LinkedIn page, you see the logo, you see a nice banner, it's really nice, but you don't see anything about them. You don't see anything about the branding. You don't see the picture. And I work essentially with solo woman entrepreneur. So they are really the image of the business.
Yeah.
If you don't put your image, we don't know who we do business with, and we don't do business with businesses, but with women.
Yeah.
So it's really something that is very important for me, and that's the reason why I like also to be on the two market, because I like to cross international market too.
I think, I've come across this quite a lot in the business and sort of networking, that women do struggle with visibility. And I think it's partly sort of stepping into our power and our purpose
Mhm.
and really claiming it. What has been your experience as, meeting and networking with women? Why is that so hard for us to be more visible and, I guess, step out in with our confidence to say, here I am, world, take it or leave it, if,
Yeah.
I'm here to make impact.
And that's what I was mentioning you before we went live. Like men, they claim their power. I'm number one. I'm the greatest. I'm the number one of this. I'm the number one of them. And I won't mention names, but we know who they are. And women don't do that. And I remember my mentor for the past 20 years is Ali Brown. And I remember a few years ago, she said, why men are able to claim it and we can't? Because we as good as them. And because we're scared of what people say, because there's something, it's cultural, because men always be the number one, always be on the top. We everywhere in the world we speak about the equality between men and women, but we notice that there's still a gap between the two. So the women I work with, they usually between like 40, 60, and even my oldest clients is 83. But it's still the culture that we say that men are supposed to be better than us, or to bring the money in the house. But it's less true. But it's very difficult for women now to say, okay, I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to do my part. I'm ready to have my voice, and I'm ready to take what I'm good at and help other women. So there's a lot of limited belief in this, and we have to re-educate. And that's the reason why you mentioned the different book, and I wrote 8 books. And for me, the most important one is this one called MDR, the winning formula for a successful life. And then it said, luck doesn't exist, you create it. And MDR in French means LOL, the equivalence in English. But for me, it's your motivation plus your determination equal the realization or all of your dreams. And lucky for me, it means the same thing in English. And this book is really everything about mindset. And that's why we have to educate or to re-educate the mindset for the woman, to understand that they have the same value as men, that they have to recognize their value, because most of them, first, they don't recognize their value. And because they don't recognize it, they underestimate the prices, they underserve themselves. And that's why usually when I start working with a woman in coaching, the first or second session, I double or triple the prices. And sometimes I even have to add a zero, because they see themselves so low that you can't help people when you're too low. You can't impact people. So that's why it's very important that we have to re-educate them and to understand that they have the value. They have to recognize the value. And one by one, when we recognize our value, we will bring other women. And that's the reason why the first time we spoke a few months ago, we noticed that we have the exact same mission. We live for that, we breathe for that. And that's the reason why I think that I join you with the summit, because the more we will be, the more we will help women, the more we will impact women. And that's, if you recognize your value, if you accept the visibility, then you will be able to impact other women or other people. Because
Yeah.
if you're too scared of what people will say, if nobody knows you, I say my formula is strategy, visibility, impact, because in a business, you need marketing strategy. If you don't have strategy, you don't have any business. But the strategy alone won't be enough. You need to have the visibility, because if you have great product or great services or great expertise, but nobody knows who you are, You can't help other people. And then when you have the combo of the strategy and the visibility, that's when you will be able to impact. And I think that as women, most of us are doing the business because we want to help others. Of course, we are entrepreneur. We want the money too, because if you have a business, it's to make profit. Otherwise, you do a foundation or something. But most of us, we start a business. And the other issue is that when women start a business, and it's also true for men, you start a business because you like what you do, because you have a passion, because you have an expertise. Nobody start a business to say, going to do marketing. They hate marketing, especially women. They hate the technology. They hate, have a funnel, so that kind of things. We hate that. But we have to understand that in order for us to have a successful business, we have to go through that. And everybody is in the business of marketing. And the more women visible we will be, the more we will show others that, okay, we don't necessarily like marketing, we don't necessarily like the funnel and all that kind of things, but we need them, because doing all of this, that's how we will help even more women.
Yeah. And there's so many strategies out there, but it really
Mhm,
begins with your confidence and courage to be visible. And like you said earlier, so many people hide behind a brand, and
mhm.
people only will want to do business with people. And what, like, you've talked about passion in business, passion and purpose.
Yeah.
Again, when you started your business, most female entrepreneurs, business owners, do it because they're wanting to solve a problem, because they've seen a problem in the market and they feel passionate about doing it. So that is connected to your mission and your purpose. But you have to be able to clearly communicate that as well and say, that's why I'm here. This is why this matters. So, people, why does your work matter to you? Why is it so important for you to make that impact and help women change their lives with visibility and, just having more successful businesses and having that freedom?
I will speak more about money during the summit, but it's very
Yeah.
important. If you have the successful business, you can create your own economy. And right now, in the situation that where we are in the past few years, and everybody speak about inflation, recession, it's very important that you have your business that creates your own economy, because then you can continue to do what you want, what you like, and you can continue to have the same lifestyle. And because you have the money from your business, you can help other people. The money just it's not just for you. Say, oh, look, I have a lot of money, but what do you do with that much money? No, how you can help more people when you have the money, and how you can teach other women to do the same, and how those women will be able to teach them. But it's go further than that, because actually I'm working on starting a foundation for kids to teach mindset to kids starting at age 5,
Wow.
because I see the limited belief of the woman that I have, 40, 60. We have to work on those limited beliefs for them to understand that they have value, to understand that they have a life, to understand that they can do whatever they want, because their parents, their grandparents taught them different things. And now we have to change that. So with the foundation that I want to start, if you start educating the kids on the mindset at the age of 5, maybe you can start earlier, but I decided that 5 is a great age. And I'm writing the first book for the kids right now. It's if they understand, and if the woman, because I did a survey recently to say, this is right, I write the book, so what was your issue? How do you act with your kids or with your grandkid? And they said, my mother told me this, my grandmother told me that. And I realized that I'm saying the same things to my kids or to my grandkids. And I learned, because thanks to personal development, people change, people understand that they could do things differently. Now, if we teach the kids earlier at an earlier age that you can do whatever you want, it doesn't matter your color, where you come from, where your religions, whatever,
Mhm.
you can do the MDR with your motivation and determination, you can realize whatever you want. That will be easier, and that my impact to change the world. So I don't like the expression change the world, because I don't claim that I will be. But if we change the word of one person to one person, and then the woman who educates the kids will show them that they can educate them differently at an early age,
Mm,
there is no more limited belief.
yeah.
And then you can do more, and you can do whatever you want. And then you choose. And that's very important, that you're able to choose whatever you want to do. And then Because, for example, when I was a little girl, I always said that I wanted to become an American and I will move to the United States. So I say that very early. So everybody around me say, "Oh, she's cute, she wants to be an American." Okay, I was cute when I was a little girl, but then I continued to say that when I was a teenager, then I was a young adult. But then suddenly you don't understand why parents or adults in general, they switch to say, "Oh, you won't be able to do it. You don't have enough education. You don't have enough money. Nobody in the family did it. You can't do this. Why suddenly everything switch and you go from you cute to you can't do it?" I'm still not an American, but I lived there for 20 years. I have my green card for 1 year, and I will be an American in 4 years. So it's coming. So it can take time. But when you have that determination that you can do whatever you want, you never you never quit on what you want. And I remember when I quit my job in France in April 1998, I quit my job on a Friday evening to start a business on Monday morning. Of course, everybody around me told me that I was crazy. She said, "You don't imagine in 30 days, you don't have a salary anymore. How are you doing it?" I was 30 at the time. I was already owned my own place, my own condo for 5 years. And everybody
Yeah.
said, "You're going to lose your condo." No, because I know what I want. And there's one thing that's very important that people have to understand. There's a big difference between what you want and what you really want. Because with what you want, okay, you want some things, but you have 1, 2, 5, 10 obstacles, and you give it because it's too complicated, because it takes too long, because it could cost too much money, or because people around tell you it's not possible. When you really, really want, I'm like a pig bull. When I want something, I never quit, I never leave. It took me years and years. I moved to the United States. 40, I was 40. So I was not, since the little girl who dreams, I was 40 when I moved permanently to the US. So it doesn't matter how long does it take, but if you really want it, and that's what I want for everybody. You want something, you can have it.
Yeah.
And to show people that it took me years to get everything I want, but I can show you some shortcut. And then you can have whatever you want as an adult or as a kid. And that's
Yeah.
what really is my mission.
I love that. I love that. So you are one of our speakers at the Women Thrive Summit.
Mhm.
What is your talk title and why should people attend it?
So the title is Your Confidence Determine Your Revenue. And it goes with what we just said. If you can't be visible, well, you have no voice. If you don't recognize your value, that won't work either. You won't be able to help others. And how really you can create your own economy from being visible. When you have confident enough, you recognize your value, then you can create your own economy with your business. And then not only that you can change your life, but you can change other people's lives. Because I always say that when you have a service, you either have to bring an experience to people or transform their life. And if having a business is just changing your life, for me, it's not worth it. It's worth it when you change your life by changing other people's lives. And
Yeah.
that's all that kind of thing that we'll talk about on March 20th.
Amazing. So, for those of you who are watching this right now, watching this on replay, make sure you head over to womenthrivesummit.com, register for your free spot at the Women Thrive Summit. Well, this is our annual women empowerment event that happens every March, and it's Women's History Month and coming up to Women's International Women's Day. This is our chance to really make a difference. So, this summit is all about bringing women together, powerful, influential women from all around the world to make our impact. And during the week of the summit, it happens 20th to 24th in 2023. And you get to attend multiple talks, anything from building your confidence, growing your business, creating better mindsets, healing, as well as marketing and visibility tactics and strategies that you get to participate and learn from. Plus, this summit is actually happening virtual, so you can be anywhere in the world because our speakers are dotted from all around the world, from Australia, Europe, US, Canada, Caribbean, all around the world. And you get to actually interact with them virtually live because all of our sessions delivered live. So as you're watching this right now, you could be interacting and asking questions and engaging with our speakers. Some of these women, perhaps they're not even accessible to work with one on one, but you get the inside knowledge, you get a front row seat, and it doesn't cost anything unless you want to upgrade for extra perks. So head over to womenthrivesummit.com and register for your free spot. And we'll look forward to seeing you. Biba, any last parting thoughts before we leave for today's session? And how can people get in touch? Because more importantly, if they feel inspired by today's conversation, they might want to have a conversation with you or follow up.
Well, people, they can find me on my website, bibapedron.com/US if you want the English version, or you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn at Biba Pedron. And the last thing that I would like to say, it's Women's History.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why we have just 1 month, but that's another topic. But we pretty much, we always speak of the same model every year. There's few female model that we mention again and again and again. And that would be great if at some point we have so many women that we can talk about that we won't have enough of 1 month, and every woman will become a role model for others. So that would be great.
Yeah, I love that. And, we have to do our work. And this starts
Mhm.
with visibility, starts with confidence, stepping into your power. And I always say to women, it doesn't matter if you feel like you don't have a leadership position, you
Mhm.
have a voice and you can be a leader with your passion, your purpose, your voice, and make a difference in this world. So for me, it's, we can do our bit. So I hope you get to join us for this month. There's some fantastic events, panels happening at the Women Thrive. So head over to womenthrivesummit.com. And I'm
And don't
excited.
forget the magazine.
Yes, we have our magazine. Actually, it's coming out today, the Women Thrive magazine. I'm very excited because this is our chance to really spotlight women
Mhm.
who do amazing things and speaking up. They are the voice for other women. And when we stand together, we make a huge, huge difference. So for me, that's just amazing. And all it takes is your engagement and involvement and passion to be part of something perhaps bigger than ourselves, which is a movement to make a difference in this world. Biba, thank you for your contribution
Thank
to our
you.
platform. I appreciate you. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this conversation today, please feel free to share it with anyone and leave a comment. We always come back and check out and respond to all the comments that we receive on our social media lives, on our content. And for those of you who are regularly engaging on the Women in Business page, you also get the chance to actually get featured in the magazine. So we look forward to seeing your comments, seeing where you're from, and coming back for another live. Viva, thank you so much for today. I appreciate you.
Thank you, and see you soon. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye for now.